Hey yo, it's the Black Love Club, we on the radio. Turn the speaker up. You could tune in this live stream for vibing and dial into the station. Join the conversation. Hey yo, say the Black Love Club is on the radio. You could tune into the live stream, just vibing and dial into the station. Hey yo, yeah, the Black Love Club, we on the radio. Hey yo, it's the Black Love Club, we on the radio. Turn the speaker up. You could tune in this live stream for vibing and dial into the station. Join the conversation. Hey yo, say the Black Love Club is on the radio. You could tune into the live stream, just vibing and dial into the station. Hey yo, yeah, the Black Love Club, we on the radio. Hey yo, it's the Black Love Club, we on the radio. Turn the speaker up. You could tune in this live stream for vibing and dial into the station. Join the conversation. Hey yo, say the Black Love Club is on the radio. You could tune into the live stream, just vibing and dial into the station. Hey yo, yeah, the Black Love Club, we on the radio. Hey yo, it's the Black Love Club, we on the radio. Turn the speaker up. You could tune in this live stream for vibing and dial into the station. Join the conversation. Hey yo, say the Black Love Club is on the radio. You could tune into the live stream, just vibing and dial into the station. Hey yo, yeah, the Black Love Club, we on the
professional, personalized experience from start.
You're now tuning in to Black Love Club. This is Richard Roots.
and Nikki Talks.
That's right, love is on the air.
Here we discuss all things about marriage, family, friendships, and relationships.
To build a better community, we are addressing many of the traumas in order to heal the village.
Tune in every Thursday at 2 p.m. right here on KBOB 89.9 FM.
Where we tell our stories our way.
Hey guys, and we're back. I'm very excited to be back this week. And also this week we have Richard Rose back in the building. So thank you guys for tuning in. We got a new intro up and everything. Y'all kind of got to hear it and everything like that. We've been kind of working on some things just to make it a whole lot better. Sorry, I forgot to bring it back to me. But yeah, you click that record on that, babe. Thank you. But I'm really excited about today. Our topic for today, we're gonna be talking about this was like something that was just on my heart because I was telling him that, you know, a lot of times we have to like reevaluate ourselves, right? We have to reevaluate ourselves in marriage and relationships, in everything, right? Just to make sure that we're strong and make sure that we're going. You can hear me? I'm
Mm.
good. All right, good. Had to make sure my levels was good. But I'm really excited about today because that's what we're going to be talking about. We're evaluating ourselves, getting ourselves together, making sure that we are good for our partners and good for ourselves. Because a lot of times, if we think about it, we can get stuck in a rut and we can get stuck in a just one position and not knowing what to do and how to move. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. You got anything to say, babe?
Yeah, I love the topic because I mean the topic is perfect for the perfect time. Is we're starting a new year. A lot of people have New Year's resolutions, but it's the old you. So it's a lot of us are trying to do New Year's resolutions, but it's the old us. So the old you didn't make the resolution last year, so you're not going to make it this year. So in order to make your New Year's to actually be successful in completing your New Year's resolution by the end of this year, you have to learn the art of becoming a new you, and I think that takes some, just deep soul searching.
Yeah, definitely. So it's just like we have to make sure that we are good and we have to make sure that we are, we're doing good for ourselves. So, and it's something that you said was key. We get stuck and we're the old us. So we're not, it's hard for us to move. Like maybe things have happened where you had, like, you feel like you had maybe a really terrible year. And sometimes we can get stuck in that position and we don't know how to go. And that can, when you get stuck in a position, it alters your life. No matter which way you're going to see it, it's going to alter your life. So whether it's in your marriage, it can change your marriage, right? Depression can change the way you are around your kids, your work life, all those different things. So we have to be very, very mindful of how we live our lives and how we reevaluate our lives so that we can become better. So yeah. Oh, I thought you was about to say something.
Oh no.
But yeah, so we're gonna get into thank you guys for tuning in, and we're gonna be getting into it. So I was just thinking, like you said, you kind of had took the words right out of the mouth, just with the new year. But what if you are basically stuck? What to do if you're stuck? I want to start
Hmm.
there. What to do if you're stuck? Because you can't talk about doing anything different if you're stuck and if you feel like how can I go on? So it's like what do you do in that situation? And I was watching this TED talk and it was very inspiring. And this is the reason why we got to get up and this is the reason why we got to move, right? It's because that if you don't get up and move, you can let your whole life slip by. And this lady in the TED Talk, she was talking about how she went through a lot of different hardships and challenges, and she went through a big season of grief. She had lost a 7 relationship. She lost her mother and father, 3 months apart, and she felt stuck. But she came to a point where
Yeah.
she said, I can't be like that. Like I just can't stay in this position. So she just got up and she drove to the coast and she just started walking. And this
Mhm.
became a daily thing for her. She would just go and walk and walk. And she would just walk further and further. And she had a neighbor who was like a big CEO of a company, and people thought she was crazy because she left her job. She just was like, you know what? I'm not feeling fulfilled. I'm gonna leave my job. And they're like, what? You're gonna leave your job? But she left her job. She traveled. Her and her husband traveled all around the world, cross country or whatever, and it was a phenomenal time. Fast forward, that very same lady, when she went back, the other lady, her friend, that was her friend, she went back and she got to talk to her again. And at this moment, she had ALS, and ALS is a paralyzing disease that slowly paralyzes your whole body. The lady was showing her some pictures on her iPad, and she was showing her, she was like, wow, that's a beautiful picture. And she said, yeah, that was last summer. So just in the time frame of last summer to that moment in time, her life had completely changed.
Mm.
It was completely altered, and that was like a real sobering moment for anybody. It's just like
Yeah.
we don't know what's ahead, but we know what is now. And
Yeah.
even now, if our situation is bad and if we're going through a bad moment, don't let that depression sit on you, because you don't know if you're going to be able to do something in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Your life can be totally different in a year from now. So why not live out loud right now and live good and make sure that um you're living fully, because guess what, things can change and things happen really really quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was just a sobering thing. I was like, wow, that's, and that's why I was like, we have to talk about that today.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I think we always need to remember, because I mean, even like now, financially, I think a lot of African Americans right now are not in the best financial state. So that could cause a lot of stress, and with that stress, I've noticed, even myself, I think a lot of people was shut down. And this typically what you were talking about, how the woman had her experience, she shut down,
Hmm.
and but we forget to live for the moment. Stress sometimes tell us that things are worse than what they really are. You start to pity yourself and everything, but no, get up. But back to the New Year's resolutions. You guys call in and tell us what your New Year's resolution is. You can call in at 918-856-3873. And shout out to Mickey Minnie. Thank you for the warm welcome back. I'm back, y'all.
Yes, yes, yes. So call in, let us know what your new
And those who are watching the live stream, please go ahead and enter in the chat. What is your New Year's resolution? Help us keep you accountable.
Yes. I was just about to say that, so you took the words right out of my mouth. But yeah, definitely. Let us know. Let us know if you have one. And even if it's not like a resolution, is it something that you started doing that you're going to continue doing? So we want to know. We want to know these things. I'm gonna tell
Right.
you a little bit of mine. I don't never really make anything around the New Year, but it end up falling around the New Year because um
Birthday
my birthday
is
is
at the
like
end of
at
the
the
year.
end of the year.
Hmm.
So I always reevaluate my life at that time. Like I reevaluate my year. I think on what did I do good, what did I do wrong, what did I do bad, what did I do not so good, right? I feel like we have to have those conversations with ourselves and with others who can hold us accountable, right? And I was just sitting and I was telling you that, these are some of the things that I want to do. And let me pull up my list because I was supposed to have it up. But I was like, these are some of the things that I want to do. I'm going to just tell you guys a few because I want to make sure that I'm constantly growing as a mother, and I'm constantly growing as a wife, and I'm constantly growing as myself, right?
Hmm.
So, one of the things I did tell myself, like, so this is one that I definitely know, right? I was like, I'm not going to continue to play small, right? And that's with everything. That's with this. I want, like, whatever I do is going to be so excellent, right? And I feel like we have to make that declaration to ourselves, that because whatever we need and whatever we want to do, it can be done very excellent, it can be done very well. Because I'm like, well, if there's this many people out here doing this many great things, then I can do
Why
great
can't I
things.
do
Why
it?
can't
Yeah.
I?
Hmm.
And what I see, what separates everybody else is work ethic.
Hmm.
What are they doing? I was telling someone yesterday, I was telling one of my friends, Jess, I was saying, Jess, I really admire Beyonce. And not because of her music or anything like that. I mean, Beyonce is a really amazing performer. But I say I admire her work ethic. I was watching a documentary that's on Netflix about her, and I watched it. It came out a while ago, but I'm just now getting around to watching it. And I said, man, like she got work ethic. Like she's serious about what she wants and she goes after it. And a lot of people say, "Oh well, Beyonce is not that great or whatever. She's not that singer." But you know what separates her? Because you can be the best singer, but you probably would never make it that far. But it's your work ethic that's gonna get you there. And she works. She works really hard, and she come from a long line of people who works hard, and people who support her, like her family support her. So I would say this is what mine was. I'm going to make sure I work really hard because I want that excellence, and I'm going to surround myself with people who support me,
Right.
right? And I'm thankful for everybody who has supported us and everything like that. So it's like I'm gonna surround myself with people who support me, people who encourage me, people who lift me up, right? People who have something to give and who can fill my cup, right? So it's just like that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do, and that's gonna boost me.
Yeah.
That's gonna make me great. So,
I think that's important because, like, self-reflection, just like Brianna said, you got to have that time to reflect. But so self-reflection is important. But what I find is self-reflection is looking in the mirror, right? But when we have a strong group of people that we consider to be, brothers or sisters, family, they're looking directly at us. So they can sometimes see things that we can't see.
yeah,
They can sometimes hear things, that we didn't necessarily pay attention to, in our own tone. So just having those friends that help us, even with that reflection time, that was one of the things that I put too. So we don't do New Year's resolutions because it really, New Year's resolutions don't make sense if you make it a habit to, do self-reflection.
yeah,
If you're constantly making goals and stuff for your life, then setting New Year's resolutions really don't make sense.
yeah,
So we do this. We do it for our birthdays every year as well. So what we do is we set goals for our birthday, and then the next year, if we accomplish those goals, we celebrate them. So when we're passing that tradition down to our kids too, so that they can understand the idea of earning your praise or your earning your celebration, your birthday celebration. So it's more like, what value did you bring to this world? What value did you bring into your own life? That needs to be celebrated.
and others that
And
are
others,
around
right?
you.
Right. That's when I say the world. That's what I
Oh,
meant. Yeah.
your world, yeah. Yes, but yeah, no, that's like really really good because that's something that me personally like. You have to be mindful of the value that people, and that's was like I was like that I had this like phase. I was like, man, you know what? I don't really have like any friends, and my husband knows that I say that often. I'm like, I don't have any friends, and I go through that, but then I'm reminded you do. You just need to cultivate
reach out, yeah.
relationships that you have. And, it was a hard thing as a mother, being a mother and being a wife, trying to keep relationships going and different things like that. For me, it was really hard. Like, how do I be a friend? How do I, do stuff like that? Because, like, back in the day, you feel like you can talk on the phone, you can text a lot longer than what you can now. Now, when I do get on the phone with my friends, I have one friend, Serenity. She's awesome. She's amazing. And when we do talk, we talk for like a long time. We're talking for we talk for a long time, and we don't talk often though. So, but when we do talk, it's like we're catching up, a whole spill of things. So I'm just like cultivating those relationships, reaching out to the people who I have close to me, because Serenity, she's a long distance friendship. But when I'm in town, I definitely try to go see her. But then I have people who God has strategically placed in my life. Like, I have some amazing people, and I was like, I'm gonna cultivate those relationships. I'm gonna cultivate those relationships. I'm gonna keep doing that, and that's like a big thing, because you need that community to be there for you.
I think it's just hard in general for adults, not just for women, but kids. I would say harder. Kids, they could just walk up to the park and be like, and you want to be my friend? And the kid is like, yeah. And then next thing you know, it's like every day they're looking forward to seeing their friend again. But adults is not necessarily like that. We're like, man, what we gonna talk about? What we
Yeah.
gonna talk about? Do we have anything in common? You have to accommodate for their work schedules. You got to accommodate for, especially if they have family. You got to accommodate for that time, and you got to schedule time with your friends as an adult.
Yeah.
We don't have that much availability, so it's just like you got to be really intentional. It's just like I'm trying to establish a relationship with Travis. And I'm like, me and Travis we get on the phone. We were like we gotta hook up. We gotta hook up. But then I'm like, man, I go back to life. I'm on the phone. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna happen. Then I go back to life. I'm like, dang, I'm busy. My sister tell me all the time, like, you can't commit to everything because I be committing to so much. We gonna go ahead and take that call.
Yeah, we got a call coming in, so hold on. Hey, caller, you're on the air. Please hold. All right. Hey, caller, thank you for calling. You're on the air. Hello? I don't know if I can hear him. Can you hear him? I can hear him. Hey, you're on the air. Hey, caller, you're on the air. Oh,
Hey,
hey.
I'm Polly, and I want to support y'all.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We love that the little kids are listening. Thank you for calling, Polly.
Hey, I'm Polly, and I wanted to support you.
Thank you for calling, Foley. Thank you so much. All right, yeah. That was funny. That was real cute.
That
Thank
was
you so
sweet.
much.
Yeah, we have the little kids in the village.
Yeah, so
Praise
thank you so
God.
much. But yeah, we have to definitely make sure that I'm answering, I'm responding to a thing, but I didn't finish my thought process right. But yeah, Brianna said cultivating friendships as results is so hard because of life circumstances unless you have the same thing going on like spouse, kids, job. Yeah, that is. It's like really easy to cultivate a relationship with somebody you work with because you're going to work, you're going to talk to them, you're going to be working, and it's like you see them all the time, right? It's just kind of like when you go to school, you're going to see them all the time, you're going to talk to them and different things like that. But when it's like separate, it's like you really got to make that time. You got to make that effort to do so. So yeah, it's definitely hard. Barbara says how think on how to continue to be positive with myself and with others and keep on paying my bills
And
and
enjoying
enjoying
life.
life.
Yes.
So yeah, that's really cute. Hold on one second, we got a call coming in. Hey caller, please hold. Let's see. Hey caller, you on the air. Hello.
Caller, you on the air?
All right, I can't hear anything. All right.
Okay, if you were that caller, please call back. We
Yes.
just couldn't hear you.
Yes, but Barbara says she's gonna keep on paying her bills.
Yeah, when
and
I was
enjoy life on a big key because you have to enjoy life. Pay your bills and pay yourself.
when I worked a 9 to 5, I felt like I had a lot of friends. I mean, I felt like I was famous. I mean, you
Yeah,
remember how many friends I had? I mean, we were like, so I agree, Brianna. Like when you're working with somebody,
got a lot of work.
for 8 to 12 hours a day, sometimes
Mhm.
16. If you're working with somebody that long, you have that time to build and establish a relationship. It's just like outside of work, you really have to be intentional.
Yeah,
You got to
do.
strategize. You got to say, man, you like shooting pool? Oh, I like shooting pool. That's something I do regularly. So let's go. You go to the gym, I go to the gym. Let's see if we can get the same gym membership. Yeah, but you got to be real intentional. We could take that call.
Okay. Caller, you're on the air. I'm not sure, but I can't hear you. They had called back, but I can't hear them. Hey, caller, you're on the air. I, yeah, I can't hear you.
Hello?
Hey, you're on the air.
Okay.
All right.
Sound
So,
like that was Polly again. Thank you, Polly, for
yeah,
calling.
cool. But no, Brianna also said she meet people and think, oh, like I like them, and then life starts I'm sorry, then life starts living, and I get distracted. Like Richard Roos said, definitely have to be intentional. You really do, because I meet people all the time, and then it's like, oh, when would I ever see them again? And it's like what you do, you got to be intentional and stuff like that. And that's what I said. This year, I'm being really intentional about a lot of things. One thing I haven't really been too intentional. I did start, but we end up moving and different things like that. But is working out. I said I want to be more active. I want to work out, and not to lose weight or anything. But I seen something that was so y'all. This was very important because they said like this lady. I don't know. She's a doctor, some type of doctor, right? But she said she gets some people that come in later in life who basically just sit around all day and they lost their muscle function. So they say like when you don't move as much and when you're not active, like moving and lifting and just working, like, cause you're like not working like sitting down all day, but like working your body, you lose your muscles, and when you start to lose your muscles, then your body starts to deteriorate. So y'all, that's really big, and a lot of people don't live long lives just because their muscles started to deteriorate. And I think when we're in this day and age with social media and we're just sitting down all the time, you have to be very intentional about working out and moving your body. And it's like I was like, I'm getting that part like of my life. I'm gonna move more and stuff like that. And now I don't really even have to just really go to the gym. I just need to move. So I'm gonna be more intentional about that, doing that at home and stuff like that. Now that I kind of cleared out a little more space and stuff like that.
You heard it here
Yeah.
first. So next week, y'all ask her, has
Ask
she
me.
been working out at home?
Yes.
Now I'm gonna ask that leads to my next question. Why do you think that a lot of people break their New Year's resolutions or their goals?
Yeah.
And I want to start by saying this. Y'all can answer that in the chat too. You can call in and answer. But I'm gonna start by saying this. I watched a TikTok video and RIP to TikTok because I hear it's about to shut down. I don't know if it's true. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it, but people have been telling me that it's about to shut down. But I saw this video on TikTok, and this young man said, like, he broke it down so simple, y'all, and I hope y'all get this, because he said a lot of people break their promises and it affects them without them really knowing. And so basically, like, when somebody promise you something and they don't show up, then eventually you're going to be like, you know what, I don't trust you anymore. Maybe not on the first time, but actually continue to break those promises. Eventually you're going to realize you can't trust them. And a lot of times we do that to ourselves and we just don't realize. Like, we say, I'm going to exercise today. And we get up, we don't exercise. So you make that mental note, I lied to myself. I said I was going to do it. I didn't do it. The next day you do it again. And then it becomes a battle where you're like, you know what? I'm not going to, I quit trying to exercise because I can't believe in myself anymore. So you lose that faith. But I'm going to say today, I'm going to encourage you. If you find yourself in that position of not trusting yourself anymore, then tell yourself you're going to do it. And just forget about it. Just keep pushing yourself and allow yourself to create a circle of accountability.
Yes. So yeah, that Rihanna says her pastor said people don't keep New Year's resolutions because they were made out of an emotional action, the holidays, instead of an intentional mindset switch. That is so true, because you have to be very intentional. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," and you gotta really sit on that. You gotta think about it. And the thing is, you can't do everything. So just try to pick at least one thing to work on. And once you succeed at that one thing, then pick another. Because truthfully, it's really hard to try to do a million things, but if you pick one thing and be intentional about that one thing, you're going to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, I could pick up something else. But you can't. Sometimes it's too hard to have a lot of things on your plate when you already got other things on your plate. So just picking one thing and working at it, and that'll change you. And a lot of times when people are, depressed and different things like that, it causes them to basically not be able to move forward. So a lot of times I was reading something, and they were just saying the way to deal with depression is to get moving. To get moving, just to simply move.
Yeah.
Don't worry about anything else. Just start moving. And if you just start moving, eventually that depression is going to fall off and you find something to do. Whether it's just taking a walk every day, whether it's reading a book, whether it's doing something that your self is not doing.
Right.
Your old self is not doing. And that's a book we've been reading. Actually, this is like your second time reading it, right?
Yeah, I'm
Breaking the
reading it
habit
every year
of
now.
Being yourself. And I'm gonna get into it once I finish this other book that I'm doing. But like you have to, whatever your old self would normally do. If it's sit down and get on social media, get off social media.
Mm-hmm.
Find something else to do. Find something more active to do if you're not active and stuff like that. So it's like you have to get moving. You have to get moving. That's the quickest way to get over depression. If you
Right.
sit there, it's gonna go crazy. Serenity said, "The idle mind is the devil's playground,"
Yeah.
and that is so true. Mickey Minnie said, "Work mostly gets overwhelming." Call again, Mickey, if you didn't get through. Just call again. I'm sorry. She said the phone didn't work for her. Just call again. But you have to just get moving. If you're
Yeah.
feeling stuck, because like stuff happens, there was like this. So they say every 12 to 18 months, they call a disruption that happens in our lives. So every 12 to 18 months, there's something that's going to disrupt your life, whether it's losing a job, going down on income, losing someone, or whether it's just a accident or something. It could be anything. It could be very simple. It could be very great. But every 12 to 8 months, there's a disruptor that happens in your life.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do when that disruptor comes? Do you allow it to disrupt your life? Like, yeah, it might change things around, but what do you allow it to do to your mind?
Yeah.
And our mind is the greatest thing. Talk a little bit about that book, Breaking.
That's what I'm about to do. Yo, this is my favorite book. I read this book over and over and over. It's a yearly thing for me. It's not a book that I feel like you should just read one time. I feel like you should read it over and over and over again. Now I'm gonna give you an example from what I learned from the book as to why I believe that we make the same mistakes over and over and over again, while we keep breaking the same resolutions we make over and over and over again, and while we keep attracting the same people over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Now, you ever heard someone say, why do I always get like, you hear it a lot. You will hear a woman say, I always get like, these dog men. You will hear a man that says, I always get, women that, nag or don't appreciate, a man. And you would hear the people with wisdom say, always check within yourself, because you are attracting those people, right? So in this book, the book deals with that specifically, and it says, the author says, if you want to change what you attract, then you need to change who you are. I mean, and it's simple. I mean, like, we should all, like, if we do self-reflection, we can come up with that ourselves, like, okay, I think I'm a little bit too forgiving. Maybe that's why I'm attracting so many villains. That's another thing too, that is another thing in itself, but I'm not going to get too much in that. But if you are too forgiving, don't be surprised if you're getting a lot of people who are like taking advantage of you.
Yeah.
That's what you are attracting. I mean, you're giving that into this world. So those people who like to take advantage of people, they're gonna come to you because you call it forgiving. They call it gullible.
Yeah.
So but this book, it tells you, like, he tells you, like, to find somebody that's successful. Find somebody that's successful according to, like, what you deem success to be. Like, if you feel like, this person is, like, successful in fitness, and you want to be more disciplined in fitness, then you have to study that person, think like them. What are their views, on fitness? And I guarantee you, once you understand their views on fitness and discipline, your life is going to change. Like, going to the gym every day is going to be easy for you because now you have that understanding. Now you're changing who you are. And another thing is, like, who we are is what we practice on a daily, not what you do one time.
Yeah.
So, I've heard somebody say, if you lie one time, you're a liar. That's not true. If you steal one time, you're a thief. That's not true. In the same way, you can't say, I cut somebody's hair one time, I'm a barber. I gave CPR one time, I'm a doctor. You can't do that. So it's like you are who you are habitually.
Yeah.
So if you're cutting hair, you cut 100 heads, then hey, man, maybe you are a barber at this point.
Yeah.
So with that being said, whatever it is that you desire to do, just make a habit of doing it over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And then eventually, after 30 days, now that's who you are.
Yeah.
Now it's hard to actually not do that.
I've been seeing a lot of things going around, and my side of my social media is like geared to a lot of moms and different things like that. And I see a lot of moms consistently say that, they struggle with happiness. And sometimes, like, I felt like that at one point until I realized that happiness was my responsibility. That I need to find things that make me happy. And I see sometimes, even in marriages, I see, people say, people divorce people. I've seen things where people divorce people because the person ain't making them happy. Like, well, they not making me happy. But happiness is not anyone problem. So, like, if you just the same way you say developing new habits, then develop new habits of making yourself happy. And happiness, it doesn't have to be per se spending money or anything like that. It could be simple things, but sparking little bits of joy in your life. Just kind of like that. What's that lady named Maria Kondo or something like that? Keep what brings you joy. I remember I was.
I
Going
think
through that
happiness
phase.
is a mindset.
Happiness, it is. It's like a mindset. So it's like you have to figure out what it is that I can do to make myself happy, because there's no one else can make you happy. Things can make you happy. It's like, what can you do? So if it's like switching your mindset and switching your gears, because you could be happy just because you're sitting down. You could be feeling unhappy just because you're sitting down all day, right? That you're not moving enough to even, feel at peace about something, and that's what you're really looking for, that peace, that completeness, that joy. Rihanna says happiness is fleeting. It is I'm sorry, I put my hand over it for the moment. Happiness is fleeting. It is the reaction to a certain moment, finding joy within yourself when it makes is when it makes a it's somebody else's comment, so it just pushed it aside. When it makes a change that stays. And that's so true. Finding joy within yourself. That's what you're looking for. The joy. Finding joy within you. Within you. Ain't no dollar amount can bring that to you. Nothing somebody can do for you can bring that to you. You have to do it. It's like an internal thing. It's like, well, what am I doing that's causing the joy not to be present in my life? And we have to be so mindful of that. And when you was talking about doing the things that will change you, that's like one of the things you'll change you. Because sometimes people feel like they deal with depression and different things like that, and they're going through different moments. It's just like, no, we need to find that joy. And joy is not something that money can give you. Joy is not something that like a place you can go. Joy is just that certain peace,
Yeah.
like that you have. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think another thing that causes people to give up on their resolutions is like sometimes people's New Year's resolutions be too big, or even they. So even if it's big, sometimes that's not even a problem. It's just like you don't have any small steps to get there. So it's like when you do like those real small steps, then those real small steps be so it'd be so insignificant. Not necessarily insignificant. It seems insignificant, but as you continue to do those steps, you realize you made it to the top.
Yeah.
But if you can come up with a strategy to accomplish your New Year's resolution, then eventually you won't even realize. I mean, years later, when the year is over, you won't even realize you accomplished it because you can come up with the strategy and forget about the New Year's resolution. That's actually what I would really, advise people to do. Don't think every day on your resolution. Come up with your strategy first.
Yeah.
And then once you get the strategy, your strategy becomes your machine. So now as a machine, it's just a machine operates itself.
Yeah.
So once you get it to that point where, you're just now on a routine of just taking these small steps, eventually I promise you're gonna accomplish your goals, your resolution, whatever you want to call it, and you're gonna be like, how I find myself here?
Yeah. It's good. Now I want to kind of get into how us reevaluating ourselves and changing ourselves and causing that and breaking the habit of being ourselves, right? Our old selves, the specks of us that are not that great. How does that affect us in a marriage, right? How does that keep us from progressing, or how does that bring about different arguments or different disagreements and stuff like that? So I kind of want to home into that on this like last portion, just like how does that affect us, even not even just marriage but in relationships. This could go with friendships and everything, right? And one of the ways that I see is that when you are not thriving as a person and you're just surviving, right? And thriving means you're actually taking those steps. You got that strategy to thrive, right? That's the only way a plant grows and thrives is if you're actually taking steps to keep it healthy. It's making sure it get water, sunlight. You're making sure that the temperature is right, right? So how the way that it affects the way that it affects the marriage if you're not thriving and you're just surviving in a marriage is that or especially if it's one-sided, like I feel like if you were just doing all the work and I wasn't trying to grow, it would get really old really quick.
Yeah.
It would be frustrating because it's like you're pulling along dead weight, like, oh man, like I just wish they would get it, and it's just like I feel like it makes your marriage so much wholer when everybody's in alignment and in agreement to say, hey, I'm going to move forward and we're not going to get stuck on something. So this is what I'm going to work on. Because these are conversations that we have. Like, okay, this is what I'm going to work on. I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to try to do this. So he's going to hold me accountable. Whether I like it or not, he's going to hold me accountable. And, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold him accountable, for whatever his goal is. I'm gonna be there to make sure.
That's what we're there for.
And it's just like because we're striving to reach a certain goal, and we know that because like one of my goals was because I'm a homeschool mom, and one of my goals was to teach from an aspect of love versus the aspect of frustration, and y'all that revitalized, like that changed the whole thing. Won't you agree? Like that changed everything. Like I feel like she was able to, my daughter, but I homeschool all three of them, but my daughter, she's in a higher, she's in first grade, so it's like more, work. So it's like I seen that and I was like, wow, she's like really learning. Cause like there was like one time where she did something, and instead of me, being like Johnny had two apples, I was more like I just smiled at her, and she probably was looking at me like, why is she smiling? But she was able to, from that moment, she was able to think of the answer, and she was able to get it right. And all I did was just smile at her. That's all I did. And I started from that. I just started being conscious every day to make sure that I'm teaching from love and not from frustration, because it's easy for us because we know our kids and we feel like, I know you got this, or we feel like it's so simple because we already know it, but to them it's like rocket science. So I have to put myself back into the position of when I was a kid and it was hard, right? So, like, and I teach from love and I smile at her and she end up getting it right, and she's been doing phenomenal ever since I started doing that. And it's just like, so I just be telling everybody, teach with love. And it's just like one of those things, but you have to make sure that you're moving towards a goal. So that's like my goal, and then that's something that I'm being consistent about. And I told him that, so he is also like mindful of making sure that I'm not frustrated, And if it looks like I'm frustrated, he's like, oh, I can take over. Let me try,
Yeah.
and me not have to be stubborn to allow him to try, because sometimes I can be like, wait, I got it, I'm almost there, let me do it. So, but yeah, I feel like sometimes, like, different things like that can, affect your marriage. It can affect your friendships, especially if you are someone you're not striving and you're constantly, it brings about conflict sometimes,
Yeah, like you said, it is like, you could feel like you dragging the wagon, but yeah, I mean, it does get like stressful because there is a such thing as burnout. You really do get burned out. I once heard a older gentleman say, the only way a marriage could work between a man and a woman is if both individuals get up every single day and devote their lives completely to the other. So when we start doing like self reflection and all of these self work exercising and stuff like that, it is important to always keep your spouse in mind.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing self reflection and you're not considering the people around you, then you're not really doing self reflection. That's just poor self reflection. If you're doing like self reflection, and you should leave out of the room a better person a better person should be presented to the world after you come out of that room. There was once a time when I first, started like finding out about self-reflection and everything. I started doing self-reflection, and I went back into the world and I was like, this is not fair. It's not fair, to tell you the truth, because I felt like, I'm doing all of this self-reflection. I'm monitoring my tone. I'm thinking about my actions. I'm thinking about my words before I say it. And, I'm developing emotional intelligence and everything. But at some point, you realize like there's no reciprocity, in the world, so, but eventually, I had to grow with that. But in my own house, it's a whole lot different. Now, if I was like doing, self-reflection, and I'm giving out all of this, good energy, good vibes, humbling myself so that I can make things work. But, my wife and kids and everybody else is like, yeah, daddy's getting nicer. Daddy's more understanding and everything. But they never change. Then eventually, I can become, overwhelmed, because it's like, dang, I'm carrying the house by myself, and I can only imagine there's so many people that do experience that. I've heard so many stories of, women saying, I've tried, but my husband gave up. Husbands are saying, I'm trying, but my wife gave up.
Yeah.
Or never tried, and that's the point where people get where they're like, you know what, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, that's very crazy. Barbara says Working together and trying to agree on the same thing and not making a big fuss if a mistake occur. And I think she was responding to something earlier, but I wanted to read that comment. But that's true. You got to work together. You got to work together. And look, mistakes happen, and we just got to roll with it. Rihanna say, me and Travis say to each other, I love you more, not more than one another, but more than whatever life is going to throw at us that day. And that is
Hey,
so
that's
good.
dope. I
That
love
is
that.
really, really good.
I love that.
Because that's good. Because life is going to throw
Hmm.
monkey wrenches at you. And like,
Hey,
it's
monkey
going to be
wrenches hurt.
hitting you all in your head and not even caring. Like, life. Life just be life, and it's like, look, baby, I don't even care. Like, you about to get this monkey wrench, like, and just gonna throw it right at you. But y'all want to switch into something else? This is like a hot topic that was going around on social media. I really enjoyed this conversation, but I want to get into this hot topic, and it's I want to get y'all input and everything like that, because we want to also make this show like really, really, really fun. Now, this is an anonymous post that someone wrote, right? It was like in a group and people were sharing it, right? They screenshot. So anything you put in the group, they're going to screenshot it. So he says, bro, this is a marriage thing. So I want to get y'all input on this, right? So we could talk about this and discuss this, because I feel like this is a good discussion, right? Now, it's anonymous. They say, bro, I'm not being petty. I'm just being real. I got paid Friday and I gave my wife $250 for groceries. And I told her that I wanted a nice home cooked meal for Sunday dinner. She agreed. I got off from work and walked in the house to some tacos. Tacos on a Sunday after I requested chicken, mac and cheese, green beans, and greens. She bought the food. It's in the refrigerator. She had a house full once I showered and came out. And I looked at her, and within 20 minutes, they all left. Her only excuse was that the kids didn't want chicken, they wanted tacos. She didn't think that it would be a big deal. You know, he said that they eat what she cooks. So, and his response was, I took her credit card. If you can't cook what I ask and I pay the bills, you can't spend my money. Now I'm the bad guy. Using my credit card is a privilege. All of this over some tacos. Did I mishandle the situation? So now, first of all, I want to say this because my husband had brought this up, because we read this. It was a good thing that he was reflective on what he did, because he just wasn't like, well, that's what I said. He was reflective on what he did, and he saw it. So that's is a really great man when he can go out and like, you know what, maybe I could be possibly wrong. Let me get a second opinion. That's a sign of a great man, to have the thought process of getting accountability. But I want to know what you guys think about that situation. Was he wrong for taking her credit card, and not, being upset with her, taking her credit card and all these different things like that? Well, taking his credit card, because that's why he took it, because it was his credit card, So what I want to know, y'all, drop it in the chat. Let me know if you think that he was wrong or was he right. Well, let me know your thoughts on that, because I have some thoughts. Do you want to give your thoughts right now?
I think he should have been petty. I think he should have stopped paying some bills.
Oh,
I think he should have made her sleep on the sofa.
oh.
I think when she complained about things being broken in the house, he shouldn't fix it. No, I'm joking. No, I'm joking. No, so I understand like his frustration, but like I told Nikki, when she first read it, I immediately say I understand his frustration, because it seems as if he works hard, and it seems like when he came home after a hard day of working, he comes to a house party,
Yeah, because
somewhat, and I think a lot of times women really don't realize how they will prioritize everything else over the man, and he is working. Now, I wouldn't degrade her work, because her work is work as well. It's just like Jasmine said last week, non-monetary value. So it should be appreciated. I think withholding a card, pulling a card away from her, I think that was kind of obsessive, unless she shows some bad spending habits. Now, if she shows bad spending habits, then at this point, that's kind of alarming. But as far as like taking her card for not fixing, preparing the meal for him, I think that was obsessive. I think it should have been a conversation.
Yeah.
But I would not say I wouldn't be disappointed either, because it's kind of like, man, I worked hard, and you just like
we eating tacos. Tacos.
She bought the material. She understood the assignment. She just said, I'm not going to do it.
She said, nah. But Barbara, she said, I think that the situation could have been handled a little better. I think it was very immature on my part. On their part. Yeah, I do think that it was very immature on the way it was handled. Like, I think the conversation should be had on her part, because she definitely was like, yeah, I understand the kids want to eat tacos, but if he requested something and he's working hard for you, then go ahead and cook them green beans, potatoes, tomatoes, ham, hogs, turkey.
And I'm gonna take his side on this too, because I think, like, from a man's perspective, a man that's doing right. I'm gonna say this: if this was the case, most men, like, when a woman wants something, will move mountains to get it. So that could explain why he was so upset. Because it's something simple. Hey, I want mac. It wasn't a extravagant meal. Like, he didn't say, go. I want you to go catch me a fresh fish, and and fillet it. He said, I wanted mac and cheese or something like that. And she had the ingredients and did not get it. And apparently all of those people in the house, he was not informed about all those people in the house either. It really sounds like they got some issues in their marriage.
Yeah, there's some underlying things happening.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on. You can tell he's like, he's there, but he's not there. So now he's at the point where he's feeling like, you just want me for what I can provide instead of, who I am.
Yeah, because I mean, Brianna, she said, I get the frustration, and she chose the kids over her husband, which can cause other problems. And she said, and he could have handled it differently, though. I think they both definitely could have handled it. She could have communicated that to him a whole lot earlier. Say, hey, the kids want, and then he would probably say, but I want, and then she would have been like, okay, well, I'm gonna do it. Like that conversation could have been had, but also I feel like you shouldn't, but I feel like also that's something that has to be learned, because the mothers, sometimes we get very involved in our kids, so it's something that has to be learned. So it could have been a learning moment for her, and through a conversation.
I want to know what they think. I want to know, like,
well, they're saying that Bree
No, I'm about to ask a question. No, so if a man says, I want mac and cheese, and the kid says, I want tacos, do y'all think that it's okay to make the tacos and the daddy should understand?
No, I don't think they think that.
No, I just want to know.
No.
I want to know.
Yes or no question. Yes or no question. But no, like, I definitely think, like, no. You can make both if you want to.
Because I'm just wondering why she thought that was okay.
Yeah, you definitely can make both.
Because I know it. Yeah, I would make both, right? Because I mean, even if if my wife came home, she don't even have to work a hard day. Let's put the working hard aside. My wife said she wanted mac and cheese, and my kids said they wanted tacos. At the end of the night, my wife is gonna get the mac and cheese. Now the kids may get the tacos. I may make both. That's not me. Nah, they gonna eat mac and cheese.
Yeah, you definitely gonna be like,
Mama's gonna make both, but the kids gonna eat mac and cheese, and they gonna love it.
Yeah, they gonna be upset. They gonna be problem, but they gonna eat it. But no, definitely. It's definitely. But with me, it'd be the other way around, because I want the tacos. But I'm gonna make the mac and cheese because I got some. Well, my daughter, she eat tacos. My son, he just starting to eat like tacos. He's starting to like it. And my youngest one, he just makes a big mess. So it just be sad when it comes to tacos in our house. But yeah, I definitely agree. It could have been handled differently. Barbara said she would fix it both, and everybody would be happy. Me too.
See, that's why I love women, because y'all are so patient. Y'all like, we gonna fix both and make everybody happy.
they're gonna get simple tacos that day. They ain't gonna get all the fixings because I ain't about to do all that though. But you gonna get a taco.
Brianna said, I get the frustration. She chose the kids over her husband, which can cause other problems. He could have handled it differently, though. And that's true. I'm happy she mentioned that it could cause other problems, too.
Yeah.
Because that's the part that wasn't, really talked about, that it could cause other problems. It can cause insecurity in that man. He can feel less valued, and that could very well like be the start of him, finding another woman to please him outside the house.
Lord,
Mentally.
have a conversation. Have a conversation
Yeah,
first. Have a conversation.
mentally, because he's wanting to feel like I'm appreciated somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm not appreciated at home. I'm gonna find my appreciation somewhere, and these kind of conversations really aren't had enough. But if he would have communicated, then he could have stopped all of that too. Just communicate that from the jump, as well as the woman communicate. That's why, older people always say the number one marriage advice is to learn to communicate. And what's funny is the opposite of communication is expectation. And that's the number one thing that causes divorce today is expectation. People say it's money and other things, but no, you expected somebody to have money. You expected somebody to be home. You expected them to love you this way. You expected this, but y'all didn't properly communicate that. If y'all communicated that, then it wouldn't be this false sense of expectation.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, you guys, this was a really, 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 really good show. I enjoyed it. And I'm just this is really good. I had another topic, but we're gonna bring that topic into next week. That's like a hot topic. We're gonna be doing it. We're gonna be doing it every week and coming with different things. But I really, really enjoyed this conversation, and I thank you all for tuning in. I also want to shout out to Melanie. I met her out actually like 2 weeks ago at a Kwanzaa event, and she came up to me and she told me she really liked the show. I think she started watching it when Ariel was on, and so I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for everybody who's been watching the show. So shout out to you, Melanie. I definitely wanted to do that. I wanted to do it last week. Well, actually the week before, but I ended up losing my voice, so I didn't come on. But thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Tell a friend, share it, let them know, and we out.